Setting goals won't guarantee you'll succeed. What do I mean? I was listening to a podcast by Leila Amozi. She's a very prominent business owner. And she said this. She said she struggled with setting goals year after year and realized she wasn't achieving the points of her goals. She wasn't achieving any success. So one day, it occurred to her that she is looking at the wrong thing, focusing on the wrong thing. So she now said, why not she focus on the inputs? Instead of looking at what I want to achieve, what I want to stop, why not decide on what do I need to do to achieve these goals? So she's now begun to focus on the inputs, the daily inputs, the weekly inputs, the weekly actions that she needs to do to achieve her goals. And when she made that shift, she realized she was now achieving the points of her goals and even surpassing them. So how can we apply this? Let's say we have a goal of achieving X amount of sales at the end of this year. This is January, so beginning of January, beginning of the year, I said I want to achieve X amount of sales by December of 2025. Now, instead of going through day, month by month, just focusing on this big figure, what we can do is to focus on the things we need to be doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis to achieve this target. So it's not even just about breaking the goals to daily or monthly or weekly targets. That's part of it, but that is not the main thing. The main thing is to decide what are the things we need to do to achieve these sales. So we can say, I need to see 10 people and talk to 10 people every day and convert a minimum of 5, for instance. So I will now focus on these daily tasks of I must see 10 people each day and convert a minimum of 5 in order to achieve my sales target. So I'm focusing on day-to-day actions. The inputs are what we should be focusing on in order to achieve this target we have ahead of us. Sometimes the targets can be daunting, but when we focus on the things we need to do day to day, that will help. Supposing also I have a target of improving on my vocabulary. Maybe I'm a writer and I'd say, okay, I want to improve on my communication skills, my level of expression at X time. What I'll focus on is what can I do every day. I can now say, okay, I'm going to read 10 pages of a book every day. So I'll focus on the inputs of reading 10 pages of a book every day. When that becomes my focus, at the end of the month, probably I've read 2 or 3 books and I've improved on my knowledge of the vocabulary I'm trying to work on. Okay, so the purpose is focus on those daily things we can be doing. If my goal is to lose weight, I want to shed X amount of kilograms or pounds, as the case may be. Instead of focusing on this big thing I need to do, I can break it down and say, every day I'm going to exercise for a minimum of 20 minutes every day. That's my input. So the input is what we should be focusing on and not just the big picture. That will help us to keep us guided and also help us, encourage us to meet those little things every day. It's consistency that really matters. Consistency, that's what really matters at the end of the day. So, in relation to this, I also looked at another book I read by Mark Victor Hansen. This is still talking about focusing on these our daily inputs and our goals. In order for us to also ensure that we stay on track, Mark Victor Hansen in his book, The 1 Minute Millionaire, said something. He said something about congruency. What is congruency? Congruency is when you are in alignment, in harmony. So for us to be in harmony with our goals that we want to achieve, and in order to stay on course with our daily inputs, we need to have a very big why. Okay, so the three things that have to be in harmony for us to ensure we stay on course are: one, desire. What does it mean to have a desire? A desire is different from a want. When you desire something, it's different from just wanting it. Let me give you an illustration. You're at home sitting and you're thirsty. At that time, you go in and get a glass of water. Compare that to somebody who is lost in the desert and needs water. You agree with me, the level of desire of someone in the desert cannot be compared with the desire of the person who is at home and can just walk to his refrigerator and get a glass of water. So that burning desire is what we're talking about. You must have that desire for your goal. That's number one. Number two, you must believe that you can achieve it. Back to our illustration of the person lost in the desert. If he desires water but does not believe he can get that water, he will not make the effort to get it. The same thing applies to us. If we desire something and we do not believe we can achieve this, then it becomes almost impossible to achieve it. The third thing is we have to believe that we deserve it. If you do not believe you deserve something, there's something in you that will stop you from getting it, or stop you from keeping it. This is why some people who probably fell on an inheritance, for instance, or maybe they won a jackpot. We have cases of people who become instant millionaires through this means, and in a few months they are broke. You begin to wonder what happened. Subconsciously, what happens to some of them is that deep down they can't believe they actually deserve this money. Like, I didn't work for this and all that. So begin to have questionable decisions, questionable investments, throwing money out, buying things that they don't need, giving money away to people, not thinking through investments. So before you know it, they're back to where they were before the money came. So if you don't believe you deserve something, there's something in you that will work against your ability to either have it, and even if you have it, you won't be able to keep it. because you just deep down don't think you deserve this thing subconsciously. So those are the three things Mark Victor Hansen said in his book, One Minute Millionaire. You must have a desire, you must have the belief. Number three, you must also believe that you deserve it. So when these three things are in harmony, then you are an unstoppable force. Thank you.